might be a hot take, but men who want to be friends, no. I had a date the other day who texted me after saying he didn't feel like there was a spark in dating, but he really wanted to be my friend and hang out as friends. I actually did feel a spark. I wanted to actually date this person. He said we have a lot in common and it's really hard to meet new friends over the age of 45. I was thinking, okay, well, that's true. You know, what's the harm? But then as I thought about it, so I'm supposed to hang out with you as friends knowing that I like you more than that, and continuously start to like you more and more knowing you don't want to date me? How does that work? How do I not end up getting hurt? Remind me? No, I'm not going to be your friend, sir. Sorry.
Hot take, but I am a single 40-year-old woman. I have not been on a date in almost a year, and the longer I go without going on a date, the less I want to go on a date. My fellow older single women, we're talking 40 plus. Let me know if I'm alone here, because something about being older and being so comfortable with yourself and your own company and valuing your peace so much, I feel like I would just have to be so interested in someone to even entertain the idea of disrupting that. Let me know if I'm alone here, because I don't think I am.
Today I realized that I don't need no man. I want a man. I do. But I don't need him. I want him. But I don't need him.
So many women over the age of 40 are single. Why do you think that is?
This is a big conversation. There's lots of different reasons. One is that we live in a time where women are making more money than ever and are more independent than ever. So a lot of them are choosing to be single or choosing not to get married. Let's say they're in a relationship, but they're choosing not to get married because they don't see the point in getting married. Whereas in the past, especially through a heteronormative lens, it would be you get married because you need financial support. From your husband. Yeah, and you need other things, but you want to build a family, you want to be at home, and your husband would be sort of the one sort of monetarily supporting the family. And so things have changed a lot for women. I think now, at least for the women I work with, most women, they want to be with someone who's financially stable, but what they're looking for more is someone who's emotionally supportive, right? So women don't need that. It also depends where we're looking. If we're looking at cities or we're looking more like, suburban areas, it's definitely different in cities.
The dating apps go quiet after 38, and suddenly the strong, independent talk feels hollow. She built a whole life around never needing anyone, but the silence in her inbox tells a different story. Men her age are chasing younger options with less baggage and more energy. The market doesn't negotiate with age, it just moves on.
Alexa, set a timer for an hour.
Good afternoon, Jade. An hour. Starting
Hi,
now.
I'm Jade. I'm 45, and the truth is, I haven't been in a serious relationship for over 10 years. Well, nothing to write home about anyway. Why? Well, grab your popcorn, because here's a piece of my story. I married at 22 to my son's father. He wasn't the one that put me off men, he just wasn't the one. I married because I was grieving, I was lost, and honestly, I was too young to know what I was doing. Divorced for the same reasons, shocker, right? Now, my hyper-independence, that came later when I met the wrong one, like capital W wrong. But that is a Netflix series for another day. So, here I am. Am I fully healed? Who knows? Maybe I just enjoy having a tidy house and binge watching true crime without being judged. Or maybe I am just officially retired from the good night, good morning texts saga. Or more likely that I have found so much peace in my life that I just can't put up with any nonsense anymore. Do I get lonely? Yes. Do I want love? Of course. But am I in a rush? Absolutely not. I'm just over here, minding my own business, riding the wave of life and laughing at my own bad decisions. So to anyone else flying solo, your journey is valid, your space is sacred, and your timing is perfect. Lean into it, enjoy it. One way or another, your time will come.
She complains the good men are gone, but never mentions the decade she spent filtering them out for not being tall enough or rich enough. Now the same men are settling down with women in their 20s who still have options. The brutal part is watching her realize the wall doesn't care about her career titles. 2026 is showing exactly who gets left behind.
There's a simple concept that I want to talk about that would have completely changed how I approached women and life if someone just would have told me this in my teens or 20s. But no one did, okay? I didn't learn this until I was in my 30s. There was nobody to show me the way. I had to learn it the hard way. And when I did, It was a paradigm shift. It rewired everything about how I saw power, attraction, and leverage. And if you're a young man, if you're in your teens or your 20s, then do me a huge favor and just stop what you're doing, sit down, pay attention, and listen to me, okay? In every interaction, whether that is dating, marriage, business, even friendship, there's an invisible truth, an unchanging rule. Whoever can walk away from a deal holds the power. You can call it a tactic if you want, but it's rooted in human nature. People are wired to value what's scarce and to question what's desperate. It's not any form of arrogance, it's just biology, okay? Scarcity signals strength, and strength creates both attraction and safety. Think desire for the moment and trust for the long term, okay? Because when someone doesn't need you, they're not trying to survive through you. They're choosing you. And the world, here's another thing that you need to remember. The world always bends towards the person who acts from choice, not desperation.
Pressure from family hits different when you're 40 and still single with no prospects in sight. She spent years chasing the perfect match that never showed up, ignoring the men who were ready earlier. The rejection from the dating market feels personal, but it's just math catching up. Biology doesn't do participation trophies.
很难，我觉得就好像中国女人以前小的时候那个裹小脚一样。虽然中国现在好像就是鞋子就是小那么一号，你脚多大都得钻到那个鞋子里头。对于那种心很小的那些女人，可能有个家庭就好的，那穿上去就可能还就比较舒服了。但是对我这样脚大的，喜欢到处乱跑的，喜欢我觉得很对自己的未来，对自己的人生还有很多梦想的，我就觉得我的脚太大了，穿不进去，穿上去夹脚，那样子疼，不想穿进去。对，我觉得我现在对好端端的人生过成这个样子，就是因为不结婚的问题。过着一种很战斗的生活，有逃亡的生活。
Single life after 40 looks peaceful on camera until the weekends roll around and the phone stays silent. She thought independence would be liberating, but the reality of empty holidays and no one to build with starts to sink in. Men aren't lining up for the "I've got my own" speech anymore. The market has spoken loud and clear.
I was often embarrassed about being over the age of 40 and not married. I mean, I often felt like a failure. Like, why can't I figure this out? This thing that so many people do. Why couldn't I figure it out? And I also worried about what other people would think, worrying that they would say, oh, she must be crazy, or, oh, she must be really picky. I'm just terrified by it. During my 20s and most of my 30s, I was focused on my career. Relationships were not a priority. But at the end of my 30s, I'll never forget kind of having panic attacks, thinking, oh my gosh, what have I done with my life? How could I have let all this time go by and not have figured out the relationship thing? I've tried to do things to help. I've frozen my eggs and I'm online dating and doing all that. I woke up one day and I realized that I'm not married yet because I haven't met him. I haven't found him yet. And realizing that my path is my own, my path is not someone else's, that my journey is my own, has been so helpful for me. When it's time and it's right, it will happen. So for all of you over the age of 40 and you haven't found the one yet, hang in there. Hang in there.
Rejection after rejection piles up, and suddenly the confidence from her 30s feels like a distant memory. She learned to embrace her body and her life, but the dating pool has moved on to women who bring less history and more fertility. It's harsh, but honest. The market rewards youth and low drama. That's the part nobody wants to admit.
Let's talk about dating as a fat girl. I'm a fat girl that was married, got divorced, and is back on the market. It quite literally feels like a market. I'm open to meeting people both in person, but I'm also on dating apps. And y'all, there was one day in particular where I was like, oh, I'm seeing the same person on a few apps. And I was like, wait, you are the same person that's on a few apps. I used to be very insecure about dating, and oddly enough, Pop the Balloon cured that for me. Seeing women who I deemed as extremely desirable, extremely beautiful still be rejected altered something in my brain chemistry. I had to realize I'm genuinely not going to be everyone's type, but that's actually okay. Like, why am I existing in the world where I want everyone to find me attractive or everyone to want to date me? Like, I don't even want everyone. Once I conquered my fear of being rejected, in walks the fear of being desired. Like, how can you be afraid of being rejected but then also be scared when someone actually wants you? It's because I didn't believe they actually wanted me. But who's the problem there? Not the person, me. I was always looking for an ulterior motive, like, why do you actually want to date me? And I feel like that really hindered me and stopped me from being able to be present and enjoy the moment. Looking into every situation, almost kind of looking for a problem, but then also trying to predict how things would end were my biggest struggles. Y'all don't know how many times I was sending a, yeah, this is not gonna work for me text, simply because I was like, well, he didn't text me first thing in the morning, so I feel like he don't want me, so I'm gonna just end it now before he ended with me. And now that I'm saying it out loud, I realize that's also my fear of rejection. Not defaulting to this isn't working because of my size or they're not interested because of my size, honestly, is the hardest thing for me to unlearn. But I'm trying, and that's all I can do. And this is where my list of non-negotiables has come in. And I feel like the list is consistently being adjusted as I meet new people. And that's when it clicked for me, like, that's the point of dating. Yes, dating is about getting to meet other people, potentially finding your person. What I have personally enjoyed about dating right now is that I'm actually getting to know myself. I'm seeing my deficits. I'm seeing where I'm strong at. I'm seeing places where I thought I was secure and I'm like, wait, actually, no, I'm insecure. Or, wait, I thought I wanted that, but that's not really non-negotiable for me. Like, if I don't have that, I'm okay. Like, I'm learning more about myself as I meet other people. This may be super niche, but something I have learned as I am dating is to not tell my mother anything. I'm so sorry, because every time I tell you about somebody, you ask me, am I gonna marry them? What's next? You're asking too many questions. And I'm just telling you, I'm talking to a person, and all of a sudden our lives are planned. Our first kid's name is being put together. Like, I cannot. I'm gonna take it a step further and say, I'm not even really telling my friends, because I want to learn how to trust my own voice. This doesn't mean that I won't let them know when I'm going on a date because safety and like online dating, but what it means is that when issues come up or when I feel uncomfortable or when I'm trying to figure out if I like something, if I don't like something, I'm not gonna seek their opinion. I have a therapist and I have myself, and I can talk to God. Especially once I realized that something that could be a non-negotiable for me is something that someone else felt like wasn't a problem, and vice versa. I wish I learned sooner. Like, there's gonna be someone for you, but there's also gonna come people who are not interested in you. And it may be because of your size, but it also may not be. Second, whatever you are insecure about is not something you can project onto someone else. Just because you're not comfortable in your body does not mean that someone that you're talking to is also going to be uncomfortable with your body. Regardless of where you're meeting people, try to have fun in the dating process, but more importantly, focus less on the person you're dating and on who you are, what you like, and learning more about yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're dating and how it's going, because I want to know the tea too.
Over 35 and rediscovering herself sounds empowering until the dating attempts turn into ghosting after the first coffee. She thought maturity would be her superpower, but men in their prime are choosing women who haven't spent a decade building walls. The humbling is watching her adjust expectations she swore she'd never lower. I'm 38 and single comes with that quiet panic when another year passes without a real connection. She gets the "you're such a catch" comments from friends, but the apps in real life tell a different truth. Men her age want to start families, not catch up on lost time. When the market is ruthless about timing,
I'm 38 and single, and I have a question for the girlies that got married a little later in life or the girlies that had babies later in life. Tell us your story. Please drop it in the comments. I feel like I have been sharing more and more about being in my late 30s and single, and so many girls are saying, like, thank you, I feel less alone. But now we want to know that, like, we need to see the positivity, okay? We need to see and hear your success story. So thanks.
divorced and back in the game after 40 feels like starting over with half the options and twice the baggage. She wants someone emotionally available, but the available men are looking for lighter loads. The brutal rejection isn't personal. It's just the natural consequence of years spent on the career-first path. 2026 isn't forgiving. Asking what benefit a man gets from dating a leftover woman over 38 is the question nobody wants answered out loud. She brings the independence and the standards, but the men bring the resources and the future she no longer offers easily. The math doesn't lie, and the market has already done the calculation.
So the next question is, what benefit can a young man get out of dating an older woman that he cannot get from a younger woman? So
I don't like that question.
Well, let's twist it a little bit. What benefit can a man get out of dating you now that he couldn't get out of dating you when you were 20, 21, 22?
Oh, okay. Definitely, I would say maturity.
Maturity.
Yes.
You know what? A lot of people say that maturity that's like number one.
Overall.
A mature woman.
Physically, spiritually, emotionally. I mean, and it's just a noted thing. But if you look at your past experiences, you could definitely pinpoint that you have matured over time with your life lessons, learning more and having a different understanding. Understanding, more when it comes to communication and things of that nature. So yeah, I would say maturity. Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else other than that?
No, because maturity pretty much covers everything.
It covers everything.
Yeah, because, just like I said, spiritually, emotionally, physically, all those things. You think differently. You react differently. Your understanding is different. So, just being mature on an entirely different level, it just gives you an overall perspective of everything being more clear. You have more clarity on things.
Right.
And things are not, I don't know, I'm not sure, things are undefined. You already kind of know. And if you don't know, you have the potential to find out.
The global leftover women movement celebrates singlehood at 40 like it's a victory. But the private messages tell the real story of loneliness and regret. She thought the world would adjust to her timeline, but men simply chose younger partners who align with their own. The dating market doesn't do rewinds.
I have this male friend that's been pursuing me for quite some time now, but that recently changed due to the fact that I invited him out with a friend of mine, a girlfriend, and they ended up having sex. Now, he's still trying to pursue me, but I just can't get over the fact that, that happened. So how do I break it to him without losing the friendship?
Didn't you say y'all were friends before?
Yes.
And he was acting like your friend, but he was pursuing you?
Yes.
And you kept telling him no?
Yes.
So what you need to break to him now. Here's what you got to do. Here's the only way to fix this. You have to put it out your mind that happened with him and the girl. Y'all wasn't in a relationship. He'd been asking you for 7 years. Now, I think that's a long time to keep asking somebody for something, and they keep saying no, and then you go and do something else. So really can't get mad at the man.
Right.
He did what most men in here would have done. So I would say, if I were you, I'd give him a shot, but you got to block that out. You cannot bring it up.
I don't need a man energy turns into quiet desperation at 39. The shift is impossible to miss. She rejected good options in her prime and now wonders why the remaining pool feels so thin. The brutal part is realizing the rejection was self-inflicted years ago. The market just enforces the consequences.
Honestly, looking at the end of 2025, realizing that I'm stepping into another 365 days single, it's scary. Like, it's a real panic that I can't even explain. While everyone is celebrating a reset and a new year, I'm just grieving because I still single. Hi, I'm Lunya Honest. I'm speaking to my future as if you already exist. Oh man, I spent this entire year waiting for you and you still weren't there. I spent so much time lately just wondering, is there something wrong with me? Is it my energy? Am I just not worth the effort of staying? Or am I just never going to meet you? Like, what am I doing wrong? For the first time though, I will admit, I actually liked someone. I remembered how good it felt to get a good morning text, to have a good night call that I actually wanted. It reminded me that I like being a partner, I love being soft, I like communicating. But as usual, I had to pick myself up again because it wasn't meant to be. And that broke me. It physically hurt. Now I'm just terrified that I don't want to talk to any other guy. But that's self-sabotaging, right? So I need to ask you, what am I supposed to do in this waiting period? What the F am I supposed to do that I haven't done? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to stay celibate? Am I supposed to just entertain casual people just to feel a body next to me so that I don't go crazy? Do I keep going on these dates that feel like interviews? I've done the work, I've done the healing, I'm exhausted by my own growth. What am I missing? I'm terrified that I'm going to spend another year reaching for a hand that isn't there. I don't want to just get through 2026. I want to build something. I want to come home to you. I want to do the grocery runs, the quiet dinners. I just want to feel safe. I just want to be chosen. So I'm changing my prayer. I'm really hoping you show up this year. The door is unlocked, even though it hurts to stay open. Please, please just be in this year. Just arrive.
Single at 38 with a full life on paper, but the dating attempts end in polite, not feeling it messages. She brings the experience and the independence, but men want the spark and the future she delayed. The humbling hits when she sees her younger colleagues getting proposals while she scrolls dating apps alone.
Today I realized that I don't need no man. I want a man. I do. But I don't need him. I want him.
The dating market in 2026 has zero patience for women over 38 still holding out for the perfect package. She thought her standards were high value, but the men with options already passed her by. The rejection feels sudden, but it was building for years. Reality doesn't send warning letters.
Yeah, how's it going? Got my stitches out. Oh, okay. Yeah. How's the baby? Man, fuck that baby. What's up with these nuts? Ooh. You got Irish Spring nuts too.
Over 38 and still single feels like the ultimate plot twist after years of focusing on me. She built the career, the home, the self-love, but the dating pool dried up while she was busy. Men her age are settling with women who didn't wait this long. The market rewards those who play earlier.
I looked at ads, went and met the people, moved in. 6 weeks later, I've got to move out because of fears of somebody had a crossbow, machetes, was mentally unstable, people leering at me across, the room.
How affordable is a granny flat on the Gold Coast these days?
Now, oh my gosh, that would take up pretty much 90% of my pension.
How do you get by with nearly 60% of your income on accommodation?
I've lost 6 kilos so far. I really have to count my pennies.
We grabbed this because there was nothing else. We're women that have worked here all our lives, paid our taxes, raised our children are paying taxes, and yet here we are in a position where we have to depend on each other to keep a roof over our heads.
Sharing at our age is difficult and everybody is set in their ways.
How are you coping with it all?
Well, you have to, don't you? It is very stressful, and I have had, times when I've been really, really down thinking about it, but life goes on, doesn't it?
It would be nothing for us to become homeless. If they put this rent up, we would probably end up couch surfing, and that's not a nice option to have.
Older single women sharing houses because the dating market left them behind is the quiet reality nobody celebrates. She wanted freedom and now has roommates at 42. And the brutal rejection comes when she realizes the independence she bragged about left her competing with younger women for the same shrinking pool of serious men.
Y'all are not going to believe this, but 2025 has almost come to an end. And with it coming to an end, a couple of other things are too. What's going to happen in 2026 is that you have a new beginning, a new start, a fresh start. You have all of those things, but what maybe you didn't know is that you had them all along. I did. I had them all along. So did you. You can be anything you want to. There is nothing stopping you but you. I want to talk to you a little bit about my journey here in 2025. I've had a very interesting journey in 2025. I'm ready for it to be over with. But in 2025, I learned a couple of very important lessons that I always knew, but I had not had to put them into practice. And this year I've had to put them into practice more than once. And it's been a little bit of a struggle too. I have to tell you that we care so much about what other people think that we sometimes lose sight that the only real opinion that matters is your own. What other people think of you is what they think of you. It is not in control of what you think of yourself. And that little voice in your head, it can make all the difference to how your day goes, your week goes, your month goes, your year goes. And I started at some point a few months ago, I started kind of listening to what other people thought of me. And then finally I realized, and none of those people, none of those mofos are here. They're not here. Here on TikTok or any other social media platform, a lot of people get the impression that they have the right to tell you what you can and can't do. And that's not true. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. And if you want to do it twice, hell, do it twice. You want to do it 3 times, do it 3 more times. I don't care. It's your life. You do what you want with it. But the successes and the losses, the fails and the wins, they're yours too. I've won some, I've lost some. I've failed a few times, I've won a few times. They're mine. And yours are yours too. And what someone else has to say about your attempt to win and you fall, that's okay. Do you know that great inventors, they invent things and they fail several times? They don't just pick up a little project and invent it. Poof, scientists. They do not get a microscope and split the atom the first try. Do you know how many times that they tried to split the atom before it actually happened? They failed a few times before they got it right. And that's kind of what 2025 was for me. I was trying to split the atom. Finally, I feel like I got it. I did. I finally did. I have gotten all of the things in place that are my goals. All of my goals have been reached. Why? Because I didn't listen to outside influence. You can't. You're too old. You're too fat. You've got too deep of a past. You this, you that. No. And my goals are different than your goals. My idea of success might be wildly different than your idea of success. So stop comparing yourself in 2026 to other people. Stop caring so much what other people think. Yes, there is a level of behavior that you should conduct yourself at that fits into society, but ultimately, stop caring what other people think, really.
If you can't afford dinner, you don't date. Hits different when you're over 38 and the men aren't offering anymore. She expects the traditional treatment but brings the modern independence. The market has already moved on to women who still offer the full package. That's the part that stings the most in 2026. That's it for this video, guys. Help us grow by subscribing to the channel. Drop your thoughts down below and don't forget to leave a like as well. See you next time.